Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on this Monday night. The people are PO'd to say the least, and I would say downright angry. And I believe it is quickly coming to a point. Okay. And I'll go more into that. But first, I want to say if you like the video, please hit the like button. It helps us out. If you haven't yet subscribed, do consider subscribing to the channel. It also helps us out. We appreciate that. Also, one of the most important thing of this video will be the passage that I share towards the end, so do stay tuned for that. It was shared also by a commenter. I think it was the last one or two videos. And this person, I can't remember who it was, but listed a bunch of verses, a lot of passages, and they're all awesome. And if you have questions, if you are struggling in your faith, if you just have questions about preparedness, if you put them down in the comments of these videos, you will get a response. You will, and it won't just be from me. It may not even be from me. I may even miss it, but uh, you'll get responses from people who are very knowledgeable, prayer warriors, faith warriors, and it's a lot of good, knowledgeable folks in this channel. Okay. So keep that in mind. Read through the comments when you can. I know time is precious, but when you have time, read through the comments. A lot of good ones. Speaking of comments, before I go any further, I struck a nerve with the Kia Hyundai owners, and bless y'all, bless y'all. I know you're passionate about your cars. I like that. I like people who are passionate about their vehicles because I'm an auto freak, man. I'm ever since I was 16 and learned how to drive. Well, I learned how to drive when I was 14, I think. And as soon as I was 16, the day I turned 16, I pulled my father to the state patrol and got my driver's license because I wanted to drive a car, and I did. I did do that, and so I've been kind of a car freak ever since, and I love them. Cars, trucks, I like all of them. You know, I mean, I know we've had mostly Toyota and Honda in our adult life, but I've had all kind of cars when I was growing up. I had all the American, all the domestics, and all kinds of vehicles. So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. So the people, y'all, I mean, I'm hearing from a lot of people, and I've seen it out there. I'm seeing it in a lot of places, but hearing about it. Uh, but first, I saw this story. Somebody shared the story with me last night. This actually happened a couple of days ago or so. A huge oil refinery fire partially shut down this refinery in Garyville, Louisiana. You know, the news doesn't talk about that stuff, of course. You know, but third largest oil refinery in the nation. We only have a few of them, and a huge fire. Of course, we're not going to know the cause of it. You know, we never do, right? It's funny how that happens, but hard to say how much of an impact it will have on gas prices. They're already high, of course, been high, you know. But it'll be interesting to watch, keep an eye on that. But that's the scary thing. It's like a reminder we only have a few oil refineries, so precarious position to be in. I'm convinced they want to restrict your mobility and eventually price you out of not only a vehicle or buying a vehicle, but maintaining it, including putting gasoline in it. Okay. It's all the deal, I think. I know. Violence erupted earlier today, out of New York City. This was over the migrant. We'll call them migrants. We know they're actually illegal aliens, but they call it migrants. The migrant crisis, it is hitting a fever pitch, and especially in some of these sanctuary cities. New York City, you had a standoff, a face-off rather, of protesters and counter-protesters. Protesters came by the hundreds to show up just outside the New York City mayor's home, or the area where he lives, rather, to protest how they're putting them all in these shelters, and it's a bunch of them. I mean, uh, it's estimated over 58, probably more than that, 58,000 in New York City alone, and they've just spread them out over in these shelters all over the 5 boroughs. And people are just fed up with it. I mean, stretching their services past the max, and it's just, it's maddening because these folks come in, they get shelter, they get a cell phone, they get money. No telling what else. That's just the ones we hear about. And when you got scores of homeless American citizens out there, or people that just can't get by, barely scraping by, scraping the bottom of the barrel, going to the store and getting 3 bags for $100 and wondering what the heck they just bought. Struggling to pay the light bill. Heaven forbid your air conditioner goes out or something like that. Flat tire. So many people are one flat tire away from a crisis, a personal SHTF. It's just unreal. Unreal. And so people, I think more and more are awake and seeing this like, oh, wow, okay. So this is how it is. Now, before I forget, they're going to try to push the thing again. You know that. You know this. They're saying it. So that's coming. Most likely, that's coming. Just saying. Be ready. Prepare for that. Because, I don't know. As far as here, it's nope. It's a nope rope. Okay? Big time. And I know what makes me convinced that they are going to try this because the first time around, so many people laid down so easily. Many will lay down this time. We know this. But remember, when you go in the grocery store this time, if they have the little directional arrows up and down the aisles of the grocery store, totally disregard that stuff. I totally ignored it the first time around. Nobody said a thing to me. Some of them kind of looked at me like, what are you doing? I'm like, how you doing? Moving right along. Have a nice day. I'm going to go up and down the aisles like I go every time. All right. I'm not going to change for this nonsense. All right. I digress. But anyway, back to the New York City thing. So you had protesters there and then a group of counter protesters. I guess they're for this craziness. But it came to blows, so to speak. Now, police were there and kind of limited it. But even though they were there, I mean, they had a brawl. They had a brawl, man. Some video about it. It's out there. New York City protesters, counter protesters. You'll see it. But it went on for a little while. And it just made me think, and they were protesting here, like I said, right near the mayor's home area there. And it was where they were opening a new migrant shelter in this borough. And so definite flashpoint there. And it made me think that, man, this is just the beginning. I believe we're going to see a lot of this. And it could get really bad. Okay. It could get super messy. And I don't know if there's enough police. If this thing, people are done. They're done with this stuff. And when they start getting uncomfortable enough, and you're the one trying to buy stuff, and you're having trouble just buying groceries. Oh, I need medicine too. I can't afford both. And then you see what's going on over here. No, it doesn't compute. And people are just gonna react. Okay, they're gonna react. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But the people are angry, and it's not just this issue, and it's not just the border. Now, it's bad enough that alone could do it. It should do it. It could be. It should do it. And it's not that the border is porous. It's not that it's just porous. It's just not there anymore. Practically, there's no border. There's no border. Okay, just coming across. They're just coming across. People are angry, not just about that. Like I said, it's inflation, housing, the cost of living of everything, your housing, your gas, your appliances, every services, repair your car, buy a tire, heaven forbid, buy a battery for your car. Goodness. Possible lockdowns. People will see that might be a real possibility. They'll try it. Now, it could be a raging failure, depending on where you're talking about, depending on location. Censorship, you know, it's like when you get to the point to where you're like, should I say that or shouldn't I say that? That's bad. That's dangerous. It's very dangerous. If it's bad enough to where you're like, I can't say that out in the open. Think about that for a moment. Think about that for a moment. Would you have said that 10 years ago? 5 years ago? No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have. You wouldn't believe it. Continued fleecing of the middle class. The disappearing, actually, you could say it's disappearing. The billions of dollars being sent to Ukraine. Billions, okay? On the other side of the dang globe, you know? And we got enough issues here. I mean, I shouldn't say no enforcement, but the crime waves that are just like, oh, okay, that's happening. All right. Hello. What's next? The purge? I mean, continued corruption of government officials. Both sides, all sides. Okay, let's be honest. The continued corruption with no consequences. Let's go to a hearing and grill you, but okay, see you later. Nothing happens. Nothing, there's no consequences. Nobody gets fired. Nobody gets, there's no legal penalty or anything. It's like I can't find the words, All right, before I get too far in the weeds, this passage I have to share. This is from Ephesians. This whole passage is good. I'll do the one verse this time, but Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Amen. Is that not, this isn't the Bible, but it's like describing today perfectly. Think about it. Is it not? And you could say, well, dog, it was like that, World War I, World War II, you had evil. Yeah, but this is like global, like all over on some other kind of different scale. So, but definitely spiritual battle. And let's keep praying, keep our walk with God, and stay close to Jesus. All right. Share your thoughts. Let's be safe out there. God bless you. I'll see you soon.